Hello, I'm Dwaine Hartman, and thank you for stopping by and taking part of this interview. These interviews are brought to you by InnerBalanceHypnotherapy.com, where I assist you to move through stuck states into your unbounded spirit, where you get to create your reality like it ought to be created. Also through the rawtruthtours.com, where Kelli Coffee and I travel the world and share with you through a one-day workshop on how to use your own abilities and reawaken them and step into the goddess that you are. This was a natural evolution that was held back from us, and it's time now to release the lions. So let's get on with the interview. Well, hello, Cree Joy. How are you?
Hi, Dwaine Hartman. I'm good. How are you?
I'm delightful, as always. Yes.
You're radiant. You're glowing from within.
Yes. Yes. So I wanted to interview you because you have really stepped into this goddess energy. Um, it was a while back. You and I had a session together, and or two, and
Yeah.
yeah, and you stepped into this energy and this power, and you have been doing some phenomenal things. Um, you were also on a reality TV show at one time. Here, hey?
Yeah. It was
Yeah. Uh-huh.
the House of DVS. It was on E.
Uh-huh.
It's still on. It's still on now. It's just that I'm not on it anymore. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And is there anything that you want to share about that?
Yeah, it was House of DVS. DVS. Some ladies and some guys might know, Diane von Furstenberg. She is uh, inspiring designer woman. She created the wrap dress in the 70s, and she's just like, I mean, she's the goddess. She is the goddess. Someone who has stepped into their power and created a world just off of themselves, like their hearts.
Yes.
And that's what drew me to her. And then, they were casting for a show. I actually saw that they were casting on Facebook, which was super, I guess it was meant to be because it was like just one thing after the other. And I was really tapping into my manifesting skills because I got on the show without a phone, a laptop, an agent, or a manager. At the time, I didn't have any,
Oh,
I
now
had
that's
no,
manifestation, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I got on a reality show without a cell phone. I mean, of course, I got one as soon as I, flew to New York, but it was just like, it was, it was, it was a mind blowing, like, interesting experience. And yeah, so it premiered September 13th, and I was off. I went home on the fourth episode, and it's still on. I think there's two episodes left.
Right.
So if people want to tune in and see what's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So they can see you there. Well, they can see you in the reruns there, right?
Yeah, and they do show a lot of reruns. So
Okay.
there's no way you can miss it. It's on E. I think we come on right before the Kardashians or something like that. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And then you have taken Reiki.
yeah,
Um, you're very much into this spiritual aspect as well. I mean, this is the one thing I want to talk about too. Besides the Reiki, is that this because it just came up here is your phenomenal ability to manifest.
hmm,
Like
yeah.
I want to go back to that because
Okay,
because it's like, okay, so without a cell phone, without a phone, without all these things that people think they need to have in order
yeah.
to was nothing. Would you agree that that's nothing more than postponement to have all of those things, or not have them, but to think you need to have them?
Yeah, I like to call things like that thinking you need something to get to the next level is like you obviously aren't ready, and maybe that's something in your soul that, you know, in this moment right now you're still needing to learn something, which I think is not anything you should rush past or try to speed up, but it is definitely evident that, I mean, you don't need those things. You might want those things, you know, your ego might want certain things to feel like it's progressed, or it's like, you know, it's where it's supposed to be, but to still believe you deserve something that big when you don't have the things that, you know, I mean, it wasn't my choice not to have a phone, but it's all about belief. It's all about what you're saying to yourself, what you feel, you know?
What you feel.
Yeah.
What you feel is that, and yeah, the head does this spinning thing and changes how we feel about things. Mm-hmm. But it's what you feel. When you seen that and you knew that was for you, there was a feeling, wasn't there?
Oh, absolutely. The desire is within me because it is mine on another timeline. Mm-hmm. And all the timelines exist at the same time. So when you feel something, I mean, think about what you're passionate about. You're passionate about it because it is so real somewhere else. It's happening. It's happening inside you to let you know that, oh, if you call that person and you go over there, and maybe if you move over there, boom, you're right there in it. Yes. So, you know what I mean? So your desires are, it's like following your bliss, following your desires, following your heart. It's all the same thing. It's when you feel it, it's yours. And then that's when you follow your instinct to how to get there. And when you follow your instinct on how to get there, it has nothing to do with your ego. And that's why people get afraid. You know, people get afraid, like, oh my God, they want me to call who? I don't know him. But it's like, if you make that call, that's going to get you to. So it's like little things like that I learned through this process that happened in a year. To do not, you know, when you feel like something is yours, the second thing that's going to come up is the intuitive feeling to do something that you've never done before. Exactly. You have to do it. Yeah.
You have to do it. You just have to go. Poof. So again, and I'm repeating myself, but so you didn't have all of this stuff, agents, all of this stuff, but you looked on Facebook, you seen they were casting, and you just went, I'm doing it.
Yeah. I felt like I didn't have a choice or something. It was like, you know, and also this is fashion. This is something I've been doing ever since I was like 5 years old. I mean, it was almost like I owed it to myself to at least audition. Yes. You know, at least fill out the application.
But that's not how you felt. You didn't felt at least. You felt, I got this.
Right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I felt like it was mine. And I mean, yes, it's weird speaking about yourself in a way, but it's like when you do activate that goddess consciousness, it's like that's the only way you know how, is to speak of yourself highly and think of yourself highly. So definitely when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah. I saw myself on the promo. I was like, oh, it's done. It's already done. I just need to do all the steps, you know, all the things that look like.
Go through the motions. Yeah.
Yeah. Which most things really don't, you know.
So that's what I hear a lot of times is people talking about manifestation, and they're talking about, well, I need to do this first and I need to do that first. Even stepping into God consciousness. They go, oh, I need to do this and I need to clean this and I need to, be able to put my leg behind my head. Let's see. What else do I need to do? These are all postponements.
Right. It's the thing is that you're stalling because you're still listening to what you're not. You're still entertaining that small part of you that seems so big. It seems so true. It was confirmed by maybe some parents, by some teachers, that you're not this enough and you're not ready and you have to go to college before you do this. And all these things that that were told to them by people who weren't in their truth. So it's like you have to be very aware. What is that thing? The critic, obviously, it's the critic. You changed my life with the critic. I mean, the things I've been able to do for myself. I mean, the compassion and the love, just simple things. But that's something we'll probably talk about later. But it's the that voice that has no there's no truth unless you give it that that
Truth.
yeah,
Yeah, that
unless you
power.
give
Yeah.
because I mean, you as the god and goddess of your life, I mean, the co-creator, you have a big say in what is true and what is not.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that if you're stalling, especially when it's something that you know is in your heart and like
Yeah.
you know it's yours, then you're listening to something that doesn't know you.
Right. Back in the day when I wanted to become, I mean, I've evolved this a lot, but I wanted to become a hypnotherapist. I went to my first class. It was a weekend class, and I seen, oh my gosh, it just hit me. It was like boom, because I thought the same thing everybody else kind of thinks about hypnotherapy. Oh, it's control and it's all this stuff. I thought the same way as everybody else did. But until I went to that first kind of like open evening, where I sat there and I listened to what it was really about, all of a sudden it hit me like a trip hammer. Boom,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Now, if I wanted to take this, I had to come up with all kinds of money to do it, right? And
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it was probably about $15,000 by the end of the day that I spent on my courses and different things like that.
Oh.
Now, I'm telling you, I didn't have two nickels to rub together.
Uh-huh.
But that desire all of a sudden hit me, and it was like out of nowhere. This would happen, that would happen. I said to myself, I don't know where this is going to come from, but it's coming. And
Yeah.
it just started showing up in its own way, and next thing you know, there I was.
Yeah.
I had
It's
I
like
had it. I had what it took. This feeling is what I'm sharing with everyone here, is the important part. And it is so rewarding to suspend your belief systems, open the
mm,
door, step through what you used to think, set it aside and say, now I'm in magic. Anything can happen
wow.
here, right?
I love that. I'm writing that down. Suspend your belief system. Step into magic. That's like my new mantra. Because we live in a society where magic is praised in the Bible, but not praised in real life. It's not
No.
praised in the way of like practical living, you know what I mean? And it's like, come on, let suspend your belief. I love that.
And so we step through. We actually step through into letting go of our whole belief system and suspending or being in this magical state. We can say that, you know what, magic can happen in a second. I don't know where it's going to come from. It doesn't matter. But I just believe, I feel
Yeah.
that I'm higher than this.
Yeah.
I'm freer than this. Right?
Yeah.
And this is,
Yeah.
so you had mentioned about being in this state where you feel kind of above, or you kind of feel like that in the goddess consciousness. Now,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people get this wrong and they think, oh, you're higher than me. No, 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 that's not. You can see it then in the person.
Mm-hmm.
You can
Yeah.
see that same thing in them, and then
Right.
you aspire them to go to this where you think
Right.
really well of yourself, really.
Yeah. And that's the way it's supposed to be. You
Yeah.
know, I of course have a connection and I have spirit guides and angels that I contact and work with and constantly telling me, we want you to think highly of yourself. We want you to be floating around like you are on, seriously, that's how the miracles happen when you're on that frequency
Yes.
of all knowing. And you don't have to be, and the thing is that when people hear that, they go straight to, oh, I'm better than people. I can't do this. I can't think highly of myself. All these things that,
That's the trap.
yeah,
That's the trap.
it,
And it's a
yeah.
vibration, like you said, it's a vibrational band of energy. And when you
Mm-hmm.
float out of that band of energy,
Yep.
you feel that, yeah.
Yeah. It's effortless. You step into the realm of effortless miracles and you step into a realm of like, you ask for something and it's there for you.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is it's there for you on the inside. It's not there for you, oh, I want $1,000,000 and then boom, it falls from the sky. No, even though if you do believe
Yeah.
that and fine tune your frequency and beliefs, and
Yeah.
that can happen. But just
Tomorrow.
it can happen tomorrow. But assuming we're all kind of on the same, like it will happen on the inside first.
Yes.
You might get $1,000,000 idea, or you might feel love in a place where that is where it would feel. That's where, or how you would feel if you had $1,000,000 in the bank. It's just, I feel like spirit energy is always answering your questions, always.
Yeah.
And they don't have a sense of good and bad. So when those bad things do happen to you, I think things are neutral to them. Everything is energy. So it's like, well, you asked, well, you're on this frequency of, stepping into a puddle. Why don't you think you wouldn't step into a puddle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I always say, it's like a mirror. And whatever you're thinking and feeling inside, it mirrors back to you, and it's ruthless. So whatever you're thinking you are inside, it's reflecting that same thing back at you. So the vibration you're giving off feeling wise that's what vibration is a feeling, right? Or you're feeling vibration, one of the two. But this feeling goes into this magical mirror of life and spits it right back at you. Period.
Right.
And that's all that's happening ever.
The end of the story. That's it.
So whatever you're doing here and here is a direct,
Direct. That's the thing that it's so important for people to remember this, because when they start to remember this, then comes that divine responsibility that also people have a hard time with responsibility. People will stall and stall and stall, but the truth is that you are responsible for how you feel. So that means you're responsible for what you look at. You're responsible for a lot, So yeah,
there's the difference between the unbounded spirit and the soul. The soul records time and repeats time. Yeah. And when people step out of the soul and into their unbounded spirit and realize that there's really nothing in front of them, they're creating everything, they have a tendency to get scared and jump back into the soul and let the soul create for them.
Right.
Same old patterns, same old days, just Groundhog Day over and over again, until they come back out into this 5-year-old creative being, right?
Yeah.
That you knew so well at a young age. You knew all your abilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
You knew, and you played with them daily.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we get introduced to this recorder that records time.
It's and then reminds you.
Yeah, and it just keeps. What happens is now you're in a vibration here that's manifesting, and as soon as you say, "Okay, I'm gonna just unzip this soul thing, and I'm gonna step out into my unbounded spirit," and I'm going to create, because this is a fun world, right?
Exactly, and also what people need to realize is that when you do, which you can do this. It's easier to do it with the God and Goddess consciousness, of course.
Oh, yeah.
For people who haven't gotten activated yet, what you can do is when you're listening to what we're saying and realizing and actually seeing it as like a picture of like, here I am, here's my soul, here's my spirit, and then your mind is up here,
Yeah.
You can flash your soul with light. You can cancel out things. You can, you have the
From
power.
the unbounded spirit, you can.
Right.
You can go, okay, here's some glitter.
Like why do I keep attracting this type of guy or girl, and go in there, see, okay, here's a pattern. And it doesn't have to be, oh, you're in a Zen monk mode and it can be as easy as like sitting down with a journal and being like, this is a pattern. God is within me, God within me. What is this? Send me light and love. Give yourself 3 days. Like, don't expect for it to happen. Like, if you're the type that needs time for things to work, give yourself 3 days, and in 3 days, I guarantee you, it will either be gone or you have forgotten about it. Exactly. Whatever the issue was, whatever it was.
Yeah. So, what's it like for you to? Well, I don't think you step out anymore, but what's it like for you to step into the goddess consciousness?
Well, I do what you taught me. The breathing. And it's almost like a coming back home inside the body.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a dying and coming back. It is just, and the more you do it, the more I do it, I realize that, wait a minute, this is how I'm supposed to be. This is how I felt when I was 5. This is how I felt when I was 7. This is how I felt when I mean, of course, I'm not skipping around and like singing songs and acting like a child, even though there's nothing wrong with that.
Not yet, eh? Yeah. Okay.
I'm still creating. Yeah, I'm still. I mean, hey, I'm not opposed to that, but like, actually, I might be skipping around and singing songs. I think I might. Anyway, I'm still my 22-year-old self. I'm not, but there's this wisdom that comes with that innocence, if that makes sense. The innocence of this place. So that's what I feel when I step into Goddess consciousness. There's this nurturing, mothering that I never thought, just because of things I was told when I was a kid, that I wasn't nurturing and I wasn't warm. There's this warmth, there's this instant love that takes over.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, in this space, I'll talk to myself, okay, I'm having this ache in my leg. Please send me to the direct time in place or in space where this originated. Send love to me there. Maybe I'll get a picture. Maybe I'll be drawn to a certain crystal or something, anything, and it's instant. That's what I love is about being in the Goddess consciousness. It's an instant answer.
Yes.
But it's an instant answer the instant you surrender.
Yeah.
That is the key. It's the surrender. It's the okay, I'm not right about what my ego says. Okay, all right, just and then that's what I that's what I feel.
Oh, we were so put in a box, I have mentioned that children, if you watch children and you see them reacting, you see them, going into this rebellious stage, it's really about them being shoved into a box. Where they're shoving this aspect of the God consciousness into this box. And they're resisting this. And I say, good. Let them resist and let them win, We've had enough of this where we're hypnotized into the societal consciousness where you should be this way, you should act this way, you should dress this way, you should here's the whole thing that you should be as a human being, And I kind of like when I see kids doing this, right? And it's like, no, I'm going to be me,
Yeah, I was definitely that. I was that kid. I don't think I shot any birds, but I was definitely. I mean, can you imagine? Oh my gosh, I was always in the corner. I was always in the principals. I was just that kid. I didn't understand why people were so imprisoned by themselves. And I remember thinking those types of things when I was 6. I was like, you're in prison.
Yes.
You don't want to be a teacher. Tell the truth.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a teacher. You see me and I'm reminding you of the kid you left behind in 1996. Now you're mad at me, so you're going to put me in the corner,
Yeah, exactly. You could see it all.
Yeah. It was, it's definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So you're using the Goddess to help you with success, with this energy, eh? And it's not really using, it's just being who you are.
Myself, you're not, it's almost, that's exactly what it is. I'm being myself. I'm being
out of the box, yeah.
Yeah, I'm being who God, created me to be, with the source that I'm connected to. This is what, in the fullest expression of itself, which that's how you say thank you for being on this planet, is being that expression of yourself with every breath, with every conscious breath, relaxing, like you said, suspending your belief system, stepping into the magic of who you truly are, and you are magic. We all are. That's what Goddess Conscious is. It introduced you. I mean, Reiki is one thing, which was life-changing.
Yes.
But the Goddess Consciousness, it's like, I mean, I resonate so much with I'll bring up Kelli Coffee.
Yes.
She has stepped in. I mean, not only did she die and come back.
Yeah.
And was given all of these gifts and the extra gifts,
Yeah.
I don't think they were extra gifts. I just thought all of a sudden she could see herself, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then years go by and she meets you and she steps into the goddess consciousness and then boom. And then and then all of a sudden she's sending energy out to people and it's from this it's almost like the goddess consciousness knows how to access the energy from different it's not just Reiki is like the source, but there's more. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
there's certain there's subtle differences in energies for certain things that you need. So kind of coming back to what you said about using the goddess consciousness for success, which I was afraid to do for so long because I was just like some stuff my soul had picked up. Just don't be a manipulator and don't be a trickster and don't be a
Yeah. Yeah.
you can't put your hand in there and change these things. And I was told by a past life. I got a past life reading by a psychic, and her name is Vanessa Lamort. She's amazing, and everyone should look her up. And she told me I had a precise gift with timelines, and that would make sense because of the manifesting. I'm able to tap into something where I can see. Wait, if I do this, this is going to happen. If I do this,
Mm-hmm.
So the goddess consciousness has helped me to I guess, use more energy, use more of my power to create the best situation for myself so I can send out as much healing energy as possible to the masses, not in a selfish way. It's never, I mean,
No.
I haven't manifested $1 billion yet. I mean, obviously I'm not in it for a selfish reason. It's more so about me being in the perfect places to heal. So that's what I use for the success with,
And
everything.
you will have the $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can see that.
I received that.
Yeah. You will have the $1 billion and you'll know that it's not a selfish thing because I know you're going to help a lot of people with that. If you can
Yeah,
manifest that in, you're going to help a lot of people with that.
yeah,
So it's not a selfish thing at all. It's just about being a conduit. Bring it here, I'll spread it out. Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's still, I mean, of course, like I'm grateful for the goddess consciousness, but of course, there's still things that I'm afraid of, and just like I said in the beginning, it's like when you want something and you're still stalling, it's for a reason. So there's probably still some soul processing I'm doing and some fun I'm having with some things that are locked in my soul. I
Mm-hmm.
think there's no accident. There's no I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to have the $1 billion already. I think that will all come when I mean, of course, everything comes in time. And even just like me taking myself off of the show, like
Yes.
me
Yes.
doing that was
Mm-hmm.
it obviously wasn't time for me to have that position or be in that space at that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, exactly. So you have a blog, you have
yeah.
yeah, what is it, Instagram?
I have a blog and it's called thefashionintuitive.wordpress.com. And that is obviously, fashion world combining it with my intuitive gifts in the intuitive world. And I really want to start a new conversation in the fashion industry. That was all I was about on the show was like, how can we bring crystal energy into it? Like it was all about, me and my psychic gifts and how can I how eccentric I am and bringing that with a kind of in the box at times fashion world. So
Right,
that's
yeah.
what you'll find at my blog. Um, doing reviews on fashion lines and books that I'm reading and stuff like that. So it's just really my world. And then there's like Instagram, Cree Joy. You can find me
Mm-hmm.
at Cree Joy. And yeah, and my Facebook, people can friend me. I'm Cree Joy on there too. And Twitter, of course, is Cree the Healer. So
Cree
that's the
Cree
only.
the Healer. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where people can contact you and
Hi.
yeah, and actually have design uh design maybe new wearable
Yeah.
spiritual things,
Yeah.
eh? Whatever the
Definitely.
imagination comes up with.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm working on now is, I'm like, okay, I have this, I was on this platform. I am on this platform, I feel, and I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And it can be scary because it's like, what are people expecting? And like, but just staying true to myself, and I'm an illustrator as well. So if there's any designers out there who need
You
spiritual
know
or
what?
fashion.
You know what, dear? Society is kind of like this. And they're kind of judgmental to a point, but yet it's the girl that wears the funny hat that becomes this fashion statement. When she
Yeah.
has the the guts to do that, then all of a sudden she becomes the fashion statement,
Right.
right? And so I know you're going to come up with things out of your own imagination as far as, spiritual wearable crystal creations that people are going to just go, oh, because that's who.
Well, I hope so. It's always been hard. I mean, obviously, my teen years, and even being in New York, where I thought people would be kind of more like me and like trendsetters and like different. But I mean, the critic rules a lot of the fashion world. I mean, you know that.
Yeah, yeah,
People's critics rule. That's kind of how it's been,
yeah.
you know, built. And I came in and shook it up a little and made a lot of people uncomfortable, but I do,
Good for
I
you.
believe in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made all the critics come to the surface. Yeah.
Yeah, all the critics come to the surface.
Yeah.
It's funny, I realized too that when you're in goddess consciousness or in any kind of light, enlightened state, people will either be captivated by you or they will just be like, oh, at the grocery
Yeah.
store, like, I can't look at,
Yeah.
oh, it's funny how
And it's
that
never about
that
you.
light, yeah.
They see you holding that much light and they go,
Mhm.
But that's them, right? But you don't know what happens to them when they go home and they think about that.
You're right.
So that's first reaction. But when they go home and they think about it, they go, if I'd have just went like that, next time I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
You
It's
know?
always like light is the core of everybody. No one's innately bad or guarded or anything. So I think, like you said, at the end of the day, everyone always comes home to, wait a minute, that did something to me, and I appreciate that, or something like that.
Yeah. So you had personal sessions with me to, yeah, and your desire was to.
I'm still shocked after that one session, Dwaine. I'm telling you, you literally, all you said, I mean, you know what you said, and it was not even, it's not like you did this, oh, it was
No.
it was conversation.
Yeah.
It was conversation, and it was almost like you said the right thing, and I answered in a way, I was ready. And as soon as we got off the call, the session was over, there was this, like, I've never felt a feeling of joy and just this natural state of being that I now believe we are all supposed to be living all the time. It's like, it's like the surge of energy came up. Like, wherever you saw that wounded place within me, the inner child, it was gone. And like this, because my thing, and I'll share this because I feel like people are dealing with the same thing, is my thing was rejection. I couldn't understand why I kept being like rejected and abandoned, and you saw it so clearly, and you said the right things. I don't know how much you want me to say because I know you want people to have sessions with you.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
So it was just like, kind of tapping into my goddess that I didn't even know was inside of me and allowing her to do the work instead of me.
Yeah.
Consciously
trying to do the work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which so many are trying to do.
Yeah. And you just keep hitting that wall because you have to go above it. You have to be able to
open the door and step up. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go higher, and that's when you see everything. But that, I've never felt anything. I mean, that's changed my life to this day. I no longer believe that I am worthy of abandonment. Yes. It's almost like there's no abandonment. There was never abandonment. It was never a bad. So that was my first experience with you, and I was like, whoo! I knew I had to work with you again. Yeah, and the second or the third time, or however many times it was all about removing the critic and activating the inner goddess, you know?
Yeah.
And that has changed me so much, because what you did was you activated the goddess to remove the critic. And I realized, okay, that's something I can do. And of course, well, I don't think it's the case for everyone, but I had to remove the critic a couple times. And now I feel like I'm in a place where even if there is a critical thought, I identify so much with my heart and my truth that it's like, oh, you're all right. I'm ugly, you're all right. Or like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
whatever. Like it's comical now.
Yes.
um, but yeah, and that has definitely helped me to tap more into the timeline shifting.
Yeah.
That's I mean, I could go on about you and like what you've done for for me. I mean, seriously.
Well, thank you.
You're
That
welcome. Yeah.
timeline shifting is an interesting subject, isn't it? There's a lot of
Yeah.
people think that there's only one timeline, that's it, but there's multiple timelines out in front of you,
Yeah.
and you can change a vibration now and have a different timeline in the future, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I I had a feeling that I had some type of gift with knowing how to get to point A to point B in a way that was more like clairvoyant, where I could see it.
Yes.
But then when Vanessa, confirmed to me that
Yes.
you,
Hmm.
you actually have a gift that you've had every lifetime, where you're able to, you know, see the outcome, but you've used it in a way where it's helping people. And that's what gave me this release, because I thought, I just had this fear of like, am I supposed to be doing this? Like,
Hmm.
I don't want to feel like I'm cheating, but cheating what? Like, what can it possibly be? That's just a critic saying,
You're bringing up something that I've pondered a lot, is that I have this innate ability, I think, like you, I think, where I could see the end result. And so, okay, so if I did this action here, that would end up here, right? And I wonder why people don't see that, because they'll argue for their limitations, not realizing they're arguing for their own demise. And I can
right,
see beyond that, right?
mm,
I see where this is going to take them, and I wonder why they would be fighting for that,
mm,
fighting for their limitation. Like, it's like,
right,
why would you fight for it, right? Just
yeah,
shift over here to freedom, right?
right.
Is that the same sort of thing, or
It
is it
is.
kind of?
It is the same thing. And also just, anyone who also might have this ability or gift, always putting out there, I want to see the truth, for the greatest good of myself, the people
Yeah,
involved, and for the greater good of the universe. And sometimes, Dwayne, I'm not allowed to see.
yeah,
Sometimes in someone's soul contract, if it says this is meant for that to happen to them, because this will teach them a lesson that will,
yeah,
it's almost like I get a gag order. It's almost like there's a gag or something, like I cannot continue to either see or shift, or even for myself,
hmm,
like if there's someone I'm just not supposed to be connected to, but just my ego is like, this and that, and if it's not meant, it won't happen. So
no,
just know that there are things where there, and I do think, the soul does play a role in that way.
hmm, hmm,
There's certain ties and contracts and all that stuff, but that can be a little limiting.
hmm.
But somewhere before we enter the body, there was an agreement made that isn't allowing me to see it or go past it. So it's obviously very, I can't think of the word, but it's to be respected.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there are certain things that I
yeah,
can't or do, but that does resonate with you. What you said is, seeing how things will go for people. But Dwayne, like I told you, like I said the other day, I had this realization is that people don't really know what to do with freedom, and that's the truth.
oh, it's so
We
true.
we've been
Yeah,
in prison for a long
a long
time.
time. Yeah,
It's almost like, what is it? Every 7 years we change. Think about being in prison for 49 years. Like it's like you just
and
sometimes
that
people.
on that recycling reincarnation loop, they could
Mm,
have this could be a million years.
oh yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like some of us have been repeating this game for a long time.
yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that it's difficult to change. No, no, no,
Right,
no. It can change like that once you're aware of it and once you shift. But
right.
otherwise, otherwise, without ever bringing it up to your mind, your your mind about, this is odd. How
Yeah.
come I keep doing the same thing? If you never question it, then it'll continue, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, it's almost like time isn't real, but then again, time is only real, I think, like you said, like the soul. The soul is the
Oh yeah,
grand, just
it records time, repeats
collects,
time. Yeah,
yeah, just collects it all. So in that sense, people who are really, really invested in that, in their soul,
yeah,
time, it's almost like it's not time for them yet. But
yeah.
someone who is tapped into more of the God consciousness and steps out of the recycle, just, repeating it, um, then I feel like they can. But
Well, you're stepping into a conscious creator. You're saying, you know
yeah.
what? It's
Oh,
okay.
yeah. I forgot to say I have a group on Facebook called The Conscious Creator.
Oh,
So
good.
people, yeah, people please join that. Like that's where I do a lot of, uh, like channeled messages and certain wise things that come to me and stuff like that. So, I will very soon have a way that I can work with them one on one too. I'm just
Yeah,
still trying to figure out what it is that I'm doing for people, if that makes sense. Like I'm still
yeah.
trying to figure out, am I a coach? Am I a healer? Like I'm still trying to figure it out. So people in LA, I do Reiki healing and all that kind of stuff. If anybody wants to,
You
meet
know
up
what?
with me,
I
we can
know
do that.
what you are.
What?
You're Cree Joy.
Yeah.
Come see Cree Joy. Right?
I'm Cree Joy. Yeah.
See, this is what it's ending up being. It's not that I'm this or I'm that. I am who I am,
Right.
and this is what I can do for you. Right?
Right. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out who I am, what character I'm gonna play. Just be myself.
Yeah, the goddess
Yeah.
within. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, Dwaine, I'm sending you a virtual hug.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for the wonderful chat.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's an honor. You're gonna be on Oprah. You're gonna frickin' I can't wait. You know that Super Soul thing, the tour she does?
Oh, yes. Uh-huh.
But you're gonna be on that. There's gonna be a space for you there.
Okay. Good. I
You're
would
gonna
I would enjoy that.
Yes, you're gonna change the world, and she's gonna be so um not only taken with your wisdom, but just you have a nurturing, kind warmth to you. That is the divine masculine. That's the real divine masculine. So
Oh,
yeah,
thank you.
I'm honored to be interviewed by you, and I'm deeply appreciative. So
Well, thank you. Is there anything you want to leave people with?
um, I think I said enough.
Okay.
I think I said a lot.
Uh,
Um, I mean, people can follow me on my social media, and I'm sure I'll have tons of other things to say and advice and stuff
yeah.
like that. It never stops. So I think that's it.
Yeah. And soon to come, sessions with Cree Joy.
Yeah, soon to come,
Yeah.
definitely, like sooner than later, because I know, I want to be able to reach people and have a connection and, you
Yeah.
know. Oh, I think one thing that I want to say is like you're the one you've been waiting on. So however that
Yeah.
touches you, I think
Right.
that's yeah,
So true.
yeah.
Well, thank you. Blessings.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll talk again soon.
Yes, yes, I'm excited.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.